Hello, everyone. Welcome back, and let's talk about the current AI collapse. Not the impending collapse, but the one that's going on right now. Because even though a lot of people don't want to believe it, the AI bubble has started to collapse, and it's collapsing quite quickly, and things are actually starting to change already based on this collapse becoming a thing. And no, it's not going to be like the 2000, not 2008, but it's not going to be like the housing collapse, and it's not going to be like the dot com bubble collapse. Not at all. The dot com bubble collapse, like we've seen when it happened, a lot of people were affected, but not really. And the thing was, a lot of the websites that were around at the time, a lot of them still exist. Don't like Google, Bing, Microsoft, all these companies were big during the dot com bubble, and they're still big right now. And a lot of people think, well, the AI bubble is not going to collapse because that's not what's going to happen. Yeah, that's not what's going to happen. And then they go, oh, well, we look at the Industrial Revolution and then the printing press and all these other things. Look at what happened when it collapsed. It didn't change anything. Like, nothing got changed. And it's like, yeah, those things are true. The Industrial Revolution changed a lot. All these things happen, but none of them have anything to do with the AI bubble and the AI bubble collapse. They cannot be compared because fundamentally and completely conceptually, it is a completely different thing that's going on now. I saw one person talking about it this week, and he was talking about how the AI bubble and the AI coming AI collapse, because he said it's still coming. I think it's already happened, and there's a lot of signs of it. But the reason people are panicking more than before, like during the Industrial Revolution, all these other things, is because before we had two classes of people that were affected by collapses and bubbles and things like that whenever technology changed. We had people that make things, builders, basically everyone that does like basically blue collar trade guys that make stuff and build stuff and fix things. And then we have like the people that design stuff, the architects, the like people that do like white collar work basically. And he was saying that, well, now AI is affecting them instead of what we normally see throughout history, which people in the blue collar and the maker industries basically, they're the ones that are affected by new technology and massive changes like this. But now we're seeing that it's affecting the white collar basically, which is true and not at the same time, because as we see right now, what's happening with AI is it's not affecting one industry. It's not just affecting white collar. It's not just affecting industry where people think for a living. It's affecting all industries. People that build stuff, people that repair stuff. Every industry is currently being affected by AI. And it's the reason why AI got so big so quickly, and it's also the reason why the AI bubble has already started to collapse, and it's already popped, and we're now in the collapse section of the AI bubble. People are gonna say, well, it's what? No, we're past the point of we can hold it off, we can do stuff. No, there's no going back. The AI bubble has actually reached its collapsing point. It was triggered mostly at the beginning of this year and towards the end of last year by companies like Microsoft, and pushing Copilot on everyone to the point where people got tired of Copilot and then started rejecting it and started not wanting to use anything with Copilot in it, to the point where now Copilot's actually like super failing. And then beginning of this year, they announced that they're running out of money by next year, but in all reality, they're probably already out of money while they're pushing ads into AI or Copilot basically. But this was also accelerated by companies like Nvidia, who is pretty much pulling consumer products to push towards AI products that nobody wants, jacking up the prices of GPUs. Then it's going into jacking up the prices of RAM that was supposed to be untouched by AI. Now everything's being jacked up super high. Like for instance, the computer I currently have, I cannot buy again because when I bought the computer, it was $800 and 64 gigs of RAM. That same computer is now like $2,000 or $3,000 for the same specs because of how much RAM that computer has. That is ridiculous. That price hike is actually causing people to not want AI in anything they use because they don't like the fact that it's jacking up the prices of anything. So it's slowed the adoption of AI, and it's also accelerating the collapse because with the adoption of AI slowing down, its usefulness also massively slows down, which means its profitability takes a crater and a nosedive, and then things start going downhill. And that's what's been happening so far this year. But the other thing happened that I kind of predicted and saw coming, and I was talking about before, and I said, well, a lot of AI is going to move towards being something that can be used on personal computers. They're going to start gearing AI to more specialized systems and be more personal instead of these general AIs like they have right now, like ChatGPT. It's going to be more specialized like Midjourney, which only does images, and now it does videos, but that's what it specializes in. It doesn't do thoughts and of all this other stuff. No, it just does the one specialized thing. And that's what a lot of AI is going to move to. And then a lot of the AI is going to start move away from these server forms, which people are starting to not just dislike, but people are hating to the point where people are trying to get legislation to pass to prevent them from coming into their city. Like right now, they're trying to pass them to prevent them from even getting into the state of Florida, which if it goes up on anything that can be voted on, I'm definitely voted to keep any of these data centers out of Florida. And this is from someone that uses AI. And the reason is, most of the AI I use does not rely on a data form. I don't really use ChatGPT as much as I used to. I don't use it much at all. I do use Midjourney once in a while, but like for instance, the audio that I use is AI generated, not from a server form. It is AI generated on my local PC, not connected to the internet at all. It takes some time, like 10 minutes, but at the same time, I would rather just wait the 10 minutes than send it to a data farm to come back in a minute or 2 minutes or less than a minute and have all the issues that data farms are producing, then just wait for the 10 minutes. Like, I let my music generate while I'm actually editing my videos. For any videos that I use the music in, the music actually generates on the computer. Then I use text-to-speech for some of my stuff. I don't use AI-based text-to-speech to sound superhuman. It's just regular text-to-speech, so it sounds like a person, yes, because it has an actual voice that's not robotic, but at the same time, it doesn't show emotion, doesn't take breaths, doesn't do all of that stuff, and it runs on my local PC. Never connect to a server, nothing like that. It's just regular old-school text-to-speech with a little bit extra processing power so it doesn't sound like a robot. And all that processing power and all that stuff is coming from my local PC. Always from my local PC. And I would do it for images, but there are no models that run on my computer that would allow me to generate any images on my computer. Well, at least there are no reasonable models. There are a couple models out there that will work for, but they require computers that have like 120 gigs of RAM and then like 300 gigs of a GPU, and that's not really a regular computer. That is more for server. So yeah, but as soon as those become available, as soon as someone makes one of those, I will switch to that because I would prefer not to have my stuff generated online. I prefer to have stuff local as possible because a lot of my stuff I try to keep away from using online stuff and online AI stuff. Like all my writing is completely human. I don't use AI for anything I write because I don't want to, and that takes the point out of writing. Like writing is one of my things. I have videos on how to write different things. I don't want to use AI for it because that makes no sense. That takes the fun out of writing, the joy of writing, the meaning out of writing goes away when you just use AI. Yes, it can produce stuff, it can write everything, but you're writing for a reason, and I think the main reason that you should write is not for others to read and not for others to get like some kind of meaning out of it, but it's so that you can enjoy the fact that you're writing and help yourself, not others. But that's that. But anyway, I got off on kind of a tangent, but coming back to the whole, a lot of AI is going to become more local. It's already starting to happen. Case in point, AceBeats, or Ace. I think it's just Ace. Ace is one of the music generators like Sono, or Suna, whatever it is. Whichever you give it a prompt, you give it some lyrics, and it will try its best to convert that prompt into music, and then you generate the lyrics also. They came out with a new version that sounds pretty much better than Suno. Not kidding, I used it, it sounds better. And why I used it in the first place because it's local. I don't generally use AI music generation on any server because I don't want to sign up for anything. I don't want the emails from it. I just don't want that. If I don't need it. It's fun to have, but I don't need it. I can just search free databases for background music. But it's nice to have, and this is completely offline, completely separate from anything. And one of the things why I like Ace is because it doesn't just go, oh, I want something that sounds like Mariah Carey. No, like everything I've put in, I've used actual sound systems or how music's supposed to sound like. I want something that's at 120 beats per minute with a violin or percussion instruments and pianos and stuff like that. I actually put in the instruments, how fast each one is playing, the beats and stuff like that, and it generates the music based on that. You can actually find all that stuff online. This is like not like something you need AI to find or something you need AI for. This is just regular stuff. Like you can go and you can see the beats per minute and the percussions and the type of instruments used in pretty much any song. And then you can just create your own song based on the information. You can look up your favorite song and find the actual breakdown of the song, and then you could just go, oh well, this song is going 120 beats per minute. I want mine a little bit faster, so I'm gonna go 130. It uses these 4 instruments. I don't like I want all of them but this one, so I'm gonna actually put all these in there. It uses these. You could just literally write the actual instrument in there and what you want, and it will generate it. You don't have to say sounds like a certain thing. And the best part about this is you can actually look up all the songs you like, get all the stuff you want, and say, oh, from my understanding, this is what I want, and I'm going to put it in based on these things, based on these numbers, and get something back, which is what I did. Put in all these things based on the numbers, and I got stuff back, and then I tweaked it a little. Well, I'm in the process of tweaking some stuff to get better sounding music. Doesn't sound great at first, because I've made some stuff that sounds completely atrocious. Because that's generally how I want to word my stuff. I don't want to say sounds like this artist and then get something that's just a copy. Yeah, I like them, but at the same time, I don't want a copy of it. Which is how I think AI should be used, not as a copy, but as a tool. And it seems as though the industry is moving that way. And because Ace in Point wasn't updated for almost a year. I think this is 1.5, and this is, I think, 11 months after Ace 1 came out, which Ace 1 was great, but I stopped using it because it's just doesn't sound that great. This one sounds great. It's 1.5. It took 11 months. But I looked into the company again, and they went from open source to closed source, and they became a subscription model like every other company is doing, but they had their own subscription model so that your stuff would run on server farms. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people did not want that, because I personally wouldn't. I would have bought their software if it was running completely on my computer, no internet required. But they have software that you download and all this stuff, but it still connects to their server to generate the actual audio, which doesn't make sense. But now they've open sourced it again and released a newer version of it that you can do on your local PC, no internet connection required. And the thing is, I think this is what's going to start happening with a lot of actual AI software. It's going to move away from the clouds, the giant server farms and all this stuff, and push towards the consumer, put towards the person that's using the actual software so that they run it on their systems by themselves. It'll be more secure. It'll be better. They'll be able to eliminate stuff they don't want so that they can have it dialed in for their purposes. They can use it as much as they want. No caps, no nothing, because it's all running locally. And if something starts glitching and their stuff starts disconnecting, they can actually just restart their system completely. They don't have to wait for ChatGPT to get back to them with customer service and all this stuff. They don't have to worry about AWS going down for a few hours or a day or getting cyber hacked. No, it's all closed in their system. And the best part, they don't even have to worry about an internet connection. They could completely pull their system offline. And I know there are going to be a lot of people that go, yeah, we want an AI system, but we also do not want to be connected to the internet. We have secure data that we don't ever want to leave this facility, and we don't want a chance of it leaving the facility. So how do we best do that? We completely cut any internet connections from this system whatsoever. No chance of it getting hacked, no chance of anything leaving, because it has no way out of there. And that'll be great, because then they'll have AI systems also. it's going to open up a lot more avenues. So AI, in a sense, the AI bubble is crashing, but I think the AI bubble that's going to crash is the AI bubble of having everything on these large server farms. It's going to start going back to having software. We see companies like Adobe already losing face. A lot of companies are losing face because they've invested too much into AI and are heavily into the AI being online, so having your computers always be online to use anything, and people are getting away from that. They want their privacy back, they want their security back, and they don't want this constant online stuff. And I think it's a good thing that, yeah, we have AI, which can be useful, but I think it's even better that we have AI that's stored locally on whatever system we're using, that it doesn't go everywhere and people just can't get into it. We can't just give prompts and one after the next until eventually we get a way to get to the back door and get into our system. No, there's no back door because there's no door there, so it's completely closed off. That is, I think, what's going to start happening. We already see some companies already starting to see this and they're gonna start adapting already. Like, case in point, Ace decided that, oh, we're not really doing so well. People don't like the fact that everything is online. We'll try to make it more local because we started local. Let's go back to local. Let's see if we can start doing that. Maybe, because I expect that in the near future, they might actually be the first ones to release local AI as an actual regular piece of software that you can just download and install on your computer with a regular install, because Ace 1.5 actually has a downloadable install that you can run. You don't have to go through Python, you don't have to go to the command line. You can just download it and run it like a regular program. You need the same equipment, but you can still just download and run, which I think a lot of AI companies and a lot of software companies are going to start doing this in the future, especially with Microsoft's big snafu that they've been going through lately, where people are leaving Microsoft in droves, and it turns out all these AI stuff run better on Linux. Who would have knew? Who would have knew? I didn't. I found that out recently. But yeah, most of these AI things, their coding is slightly different, but the coding is almost exactly the same because they run on Python. And that runs on Linux. Just like pretty much everything else. Like your cell phone runs on Linux. The base kernel of Microsoft actually, oddly enough, run on Linux. Base kernel for Apple runs on Linux. Base kernel, well, not base kernel, but most of servers run on Linux. So, and Linux is free, completely open source. You can get it. You don't have to pay a licensing fee or anything for it. It's open source, free, and you can just get it. But the bigger point is a lot of stuff already run on Linux, and it runs a little bit better on Linux because there's less bloat, less stuff to go through. So it will run faster. I can't wait to test it out. I can't wait to get it up and running on my system. Trying to get some backups done first because I don't want to lose any data. And then I'm going to test it out to see how much faster stuff runs on Linux. Because I booted in from the actual flash drive into Linux before on my laptop, and it does actually run significantly faster, which is surprising because I have 64 gigs of RAM. My laptop takes about 4 seconds to boot. I shouldn't be able to notice that my computer is running faster, but I do. That just speaks to how much bloat and how much slower Microsoft is running than it should be. But that's that. Anyway, hope you guys have a good day. Subscribe and like. Leave a comment down below and I'll respond to it because I respond to all my comments. But I hope you guys have a good day. See you guys in the next one.